Welcome to another episode. Oh man, what happened to Matt? Welcome to another episode of We'd Been There. I don't know why, but
I'm gone again.
people that are watching Matt disappeared.
I'm a phantom.
Oh,
There I am.
wait.
Oh, there I go. Now I'm back. Now I'm gone. It's trippy, bro.
What is going on? Okay, so I can't move my mouse apparently. Oh, that's why. Okay. Are we better now? We're better now. Okay, sorry about that for you listeners out there that aren't watching this, but you could definitely come to our YouTube channel and watch the stupidity unfold. Every week we have something happen. I don't even understand it. But welcome. This is episode 4 of We've Been There, Time Management. Time Management. So I am Rick from Uncle Rick's Genetics. That is Matt, parts unknown.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location. Okay. That's what we're going with. So, I hope we get some of our regular listeners in tonight for some comments. I have to turn all live chats on. All right. So it's all on. So if you're here, you can throw us a message. We'll see it. But let's do a little connection from last week. So last week we were popping and dropping beans. We went over germination. Oh, nice background.
Thanks.
Beautiful. We went over germination. We went over whether you're germinating in auto or photo. And then we went into as far as, I think, Matt, you were saying that we went as far as like topping stuff, talking about topping stuff, but
Yeah,
we talked about planting, maybe your first transplant if it's a photo period, going into a forever pot if it is an auto flower. And, I guess then what comes next is what we're bringing up here, probably the most important part of growing indoors, especially. Probably get away with a little bit less outside, but inside you have to have really good time management. There's Matt taking a dab right before we start. Yes, sir. That's a that's actually ritualistic now. You have to do it when we start now. Like I'm gonna notice if you don't now.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna bring it up, but let's continue.
I'm gonna actually turn you up because it looks like you're quiet. I'm just gonna check your output here.
Check,
As,
check, check my output.
output is it's coming out of there.
I'm registering major positive vibes.
I'm seeing them. They're off the charts. Okay, so yeah, time management. What does that mean?
Super important.
I mean, it's kind of obvious what it means. What it's right in the word. Time management is like making sure you have time for your new commitment.
Yeah. It's like a pet. You gotta walk it, feed it, give it a bath.
Right. If you don't
Gotta
walk your
play with
plant,
it.
it's
You
gonna
gotta
be
walk your plant.
yeah, dude. It's my favorite part of the festival. Without getting off topic immediately, is those people that walk around with a little pot with a pot plant in like a little rolly thing for just one plant, and they're taking their plant for a walk. I think that's the funniest I've ever seen. But yeah, you have to walk your plant. You have to make them happy. So that takes time out of your day every day, and a lot of people lose sight of having time for it, thinking, "Oh, it'll be fine. I'll just go over there tomorrow," and it's usually ends up happening 50 times in a row during a grow, or every week that happens twice, or basically what we were just talking about, Matt. If your time management being bad becomes consistent, that's probably that's probably the wrong direction of consistency.
Yeah.
you know?
for sure.
Right. So you don't want to get used to doing the wrong thing. So,
Plant dries out too much. You know, humidifiers not filled regularly. I mean, there's a laundry list of shit to do on a
right.
daily, weekly, monthly basis.
Right. Cleaning is a pretty big part of being
Yeah.
consistent too. You know, defoliating and cleaning that defoliation up. I know a lot of people just like throw it on the floor and let that shit collect. And, you know, dirty place is not a happy place. There's a lot of things that happen on a
I mean,
small, small
I'm
level.
guilty of that. You know, not so much nowadays, but in the beginning, I was guilty of like not 100% cleaning because I wasn't managing my time well. You know, so
There it is.
you know, yeah. But now, like, I also I know people that do like jewelry and art with like cannabis leaves. So you know, I'm pretty
Right?
good with like picking them up and putting them in a bag and giving them off to them so that they can do whatever they want with them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. But yeah, dude, I think it's something that in the beginning you not only I think in the beginning how it works is I don't mean your first plant because your first grow or even your second grow, you're super excited. You're like, you know, the Ace Ventura meme that he's looking in there for the screen, seeing if the diamond's in there, and it's at the POV of his face, and you're checking your plant every 34 milliseconds. Um, I think it goes from that like obsessive compulsive needing to see your plant grow to regularity, and people don't have the middle ground. They go like fucking crazy and then they forget about it, or they can
yeah.
be consistent.
It gets nutty sometimes, you know. Like, by the way, I was stoned before I came up here, and I just took another dab, and I'm even more stoned. It's
Oh,
great,
perfect, dude.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it it got a little like in the beginning, it was crazy for me because kids, family, work, all the other shit, you know, like it gets a little nuts sometimes, especially if you have all those factors involved. So, you know, you think you got to set a certain time of the day, of the night, where like you're able to, you know, devote some kind of time because it is like a daily thing almost. You know, you got to go in there and you got to check, got to fill humidifiers.
It's a daily thing almost. I mean, you're in autopods. You're probably not needing to be in there every second. But if you're
No,
not in your grow space every day, that's probably already not a great thing unless you're set up with automation. But being a beginner and not having the time to be there every day and no automation, you're going to run into
major issues. Yeah,
straight, yeah, just
which I
straight
did,
issues. Right.
which I did, and then I started getting, you know, these things to make my life easier and more time manageable. You know, but you know, I went through the trials and tribulations as well. So you know, like it's good to get automation if you're a busy person. If you're like a stay-at-home mom or you work from home, like then you might not need that stuff because you have the time during the day to, you know, attend to your garden. So
Right.
time in.
You, you know the one cool thing though, I do gotta say is like you have things now that people never had before, so readily accessible or so um, you know niche specific, let's say, because there's ready ability. Like, let's say you always could have gotten this stuff. Like, I was always able to go and buy a little pump kit, you know, or anything like that. I was always able to do that, but was it geared towards what I was looking for? Probably not. So would I have found it? Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I mean. Like these
Right,
niche
you're using like
specific products now,
fish tank pumps. You know,
right?
fish tank pumps for, you know, soil aeration and
Right.
you
You
know.
could have always used it. You could have always used that. But like, being that now people buy these expensive pumps and you see that it's just like a fish tank pump with a logo on it, you're like, oh shit, dude, I could have been using this for however long.
Yeah.
And and it's until it's like I said, until it's niche specific, I don't really think that a lot of people are going to even find it. So like that's what I mean. Like you're looking up let's say you're looking up a grow tent, right? You're gonna just type in grow tent. Like it's that kind of ability now that people didn't have before. Before you had to like just know that it was a gorilla grow tent you wanted because that was the only one, and you had to know where to get it, and that's pretty much it. But again, like now you could just go and type in grow tent and it's going to come up on every website all over the place. And you know that alone helps with time management. Now you're not worrying about running out of humidifier water. I know people that do open grows that can't keep up with their environment, and they're like, "Oh, I worked late and I didn't get home to fill the humidifier because I got to fill it every night and every morning, and I wasn't there and I woke up late, so my whole entire environment's out of whack." And them getting a grow tent was enough for them to help with their time management, just
Yeah.
because it made it smaller. It helped them get this done. So it's not always like technology doesn't always have to be the thing. It doesn't have to be like automation realistically to
I mean, it's just like,
help you.
most people grow and work during the daytime. So like the daytime, especially in the spring and summer months, it's hotter. Like, is your temperature rising in your tent? Are you there to be able to make the necessary adjustments to cool it down or compensate for that? Like while you're at work, because a few hours a day, or even an 8-hour shift of that plant being in a low humidity, hot environment might not be good for it. So it's like, do you have the ability? Now they make smart controllers, they make Bluetooth Wi-Fi that you can hook up to your phone. You could
Oh,
actually
I know.
monitor, grow,
I know
like
it's crazy. You could
all the
actually you could alter your grow now over the phone through your Wi-Fi.
right. So like all these things are part of the time management, because what other option would you have to do? Like leave on your lunch break, or
Well,
you know,
that's the thing though. Now, this is where I want to stop you just to prove that point again, that because these things are now coherent to people in the niche specific industry of a grow timer or grow tent application, right? There has been hundreds, if not thousands beforehand that made this automatic, but it wasn't online. And you would just set it to what you needed to set it to, and you'd call it a day. You wouldn't essentially need to go out and run home from work to make sure that it's all right, because you can dial that in and
yeah,
call it a day. You know what I mean? That's been around for plenty of time. The variable speeds, you can get both of them, dial it in, you get an auto humidifier. But now things have gotten, from that stage where it started becoming people were buying this stuff for cannabis to now that's what it's for. And it's super advanced from it's basically just hooks to your phone. It's not really super
yeah.
advanced.
I mean, so
What's
like,
up, Terry? How you doing, man?
what do you think is a good time, like a slot of time in your day to tend to your garden?
First thing in the
You
morning.
know, well, no, I mean, like, how much time should you allot yourself each day? Like
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah,
That's
I
it?
mean, what do you really need to do every day that's not going to take you 20 minutes? How many plants you got? Number one, if you got a whole fucking room of shit.
Well, yeah.
We got Terry Brailer. Good evening, and Ted Farmer. Good evening, sir.
I would say, the average grower probably has what, about maybe four at a time.
One plant or one tent,
Yeah, 110, four plants.
right? So why do you need more than 20 minutes unless you're
Just,
defoliating or
well, I'm just saying. I mean,
doing
well,
something?
I guess, it would slowly increase though, because you're in the beginning stages. You don't need much time. Does it have water? Is it humid? Okay, we're good. See you later. You know.
I mean, you should still spend 20 minutes a day in there.
Well,
And
I'm just
remember
okay.
what we're
Minimum of
saying here.
20 minutes, but then like,
Consistency is key. So if you can
right,
set up for 20 minutes a day, and you're obviously going to have days that you need more than 20 minutes, but that's what it is. Like, you're going to set a baseline with your 20
Right.
minutes a day.
20 minutes, yeah.
I mean,
You know,
it's good. It's definitely good.
defoliate like every 3 days and veg.
Ted
You
says,
know,
same here. I dedicate 20 minutes in the morning for tents. Add water to humidifier, check if feeding water is needed, and off to the other daily chores. Right. I think that if you do it in the beginning of the day, you're not really going to have much shit fuck that up for you. Like, you get up, just like dropping a deuce. You get up,
yeah.
you go and do your plants, and you go on with your day. And then if you had to stay late or do this or do that, you're usually fine.
I mean, me personally, I spend, you know, 5 minutes in the morning with my plants. I just check, make sure everything's good, and then come home on my lunch to walk the dog. I check my plants again for
Yeah.
5 minutes, and then when I come home, I'll spend, I don't know, maybe it's only 5 minutes that night, or maybe it's half an hour.
Well, I
Sometimes I
mean,
get
you
stoned and
want to
I'll just
spend
stand there and look at it.
you want to
Like,
spend time with them, dude. They can see you. You know what I mean? Imagine you were left alone in a room. You were given what you needed, but you were just left there all day, and someone came there for like 1 to 20 minutes versus 20 minutes to an hour versus an hour twice a day or 4 times a day. Like, you're, as a thing being in there that can see and visually knows what's going on and can sense what's happening, you know,
yeah,
you would definitely be happier when
some
something
days I
came
can care less if anybody comes or not, dude.
there. I don't know. Fucking plants are sentient beings, man.
Leave me alone.
Plants are sentient beings. They like music, you know. I wonder
Yeah.
if plants like TV, bro. Because if they did, that'd be crazy. That's like a whole electromagnetic audio experience for them. You know what I mean? All
It's
these
weird. Like,
wavelengths.
so, like when I first started growing, I actually tried like electrifying the soil because like I read something like where
Yeah, electroculture.
yeah, so like I took a 9 volt battery and like put the wires together and stuck it in the soil.
Right.
It was weird.
Right. But
Nothing.
I don't think
I didn't see
that's
any
not
difference.
really electroculture. Electroculture is actually number one. If you're in the ground outside, you're going to be using a wooden pole and driving that sucker in the ground like a foot or two. And
Yeah.
then on the wooden pole, you wrap 12 or 10 gauge copper wire, solid wire around it, and like a spiral going up. And you put like a stone at the top, and that's supposed to take energy out of the air. If you're in a pot inside your house, what you're supposed to do is run a negative from your panel or your lightning rod to the soil in the pot and ground the pot because it's not grounded in your home.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you're talking about.
That's electroculture.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't doing that, but
Well, I mean, those are just two
so. But
things.
did
In
you ever?
China,
All
they
right,
electrify the soil with small micro voltage, and they actually can do crazy shit with plants.
all right. But do
I've
you know
seen that.
plants respond to static electricity? Do you know that?
They respond to everything, dude.
So
It's
like if you have something
wild.
like a wand that's high static and you wave it like close, like within a few inches of your plant, you'll actually see like the leaves like turn and gravitate towards that static electricity.
Is
It's
it
crazy.
is it like, paper or a balloon where it's just like magnetically pulled to it, or
Yeah.
well, one
Like
thing that
as you
I
go over the plant, you'll see all the leaves. They'll go up to grab it, and but then they'll go down as it passes. Just like if you were to do it over your arm, like the hairs would
the
stand
hairs,
up.
right. Well, that's because the electrical pull is physically stronger than the weight of your hairs as they stand up. That's crazy though. Anyway, Ted said something here, but I can't see it. He says he maintains 24 Celsius. What's that, like 80 degrees?
I have no
77
idea.
and 60% humidity. Then he said soon those plants will be going outside in a week or two. Nice, dude. Gotta love some indoor to outdoor plants. Perry Wood, hello, sir. Good
'Tis the
evening.
season for outdoor planting.
Um, we were just on a riff there. I don't know what you were saying last. I was gonna respond. I think it's good weed. I got good weed, so I'm a little lost
I don't
right
know if you can hear the popo or something's going on out there. You know, these irons.
now. with your
Those-
with your background, and I forgot was fake for a second. I was like, he's outside. I was like, oh wait.
yeah.
But
But if
so
you get, well, let me get into this part, like scheduling. So, like, a good part of time management is like, getting yourself on a schedule with, what you're doing, when you're doing it, like water days, not water days, feed days, So, like, it's really great to have a schedule. That way you can keep up with your plant instead of, leaving it alone for 2 or 3 days and then coming in. You're just like, oh my God, I got to spend hours up here now and get this plant cleaned up and watered, and I got to pH my water, I got to mix a feeding, like if you have all those things scheduled and ahead of time, like you can prep your nutrient solution the night before, or you can pH your water the night before so that all these things are ready to go because you have the time. um, and if you dedicate a few minutes a day just to that, or every other day, whatever your schedule dictates that you're doing, um, it just makes life a hell of a lot easier because there's times where, like, you will say fuck it and you'll skip a feeding and your plant really needs that feeding, and then you're trying to come from behind, and then you might see, oh shit, I should have fed it, now it's yellowing out, let me give it a strong dose. Well, the plant's like, no dude, I just want a regular amount of food. Now you're overcompensating for, it's like the, hey, I forgot to take my medicine at 8 p.m., I'm supposed to take another dose at 3, I'll just double up. I mean, like, it's
fucking
not
fucked up.
always the greatest thing,
The triple up.
right? So you could run into a lot of issues with that, or not properly pHing your water, because you should pH it the night before and then test it again, the day of watering, right before you're going to water your plants, so that you have a highly accurate solution, because that can change in a few hours. pH can change just by interacting with open air or even being sealed. So, time management is key.
Especially when you first get into it, because if you learn how to maintain your plant's health through consistent inputs, um, it just gets easier from there on
But
out.
also on the flip side of that coin, too much time is not always a great thing either. Because if you sit there and you're up in your shit for an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, just chilling, and you're just looking at that plant, like, you're gonna give yourself a reason to fuck with it. Like, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that leaf looks a little weird. Let me just pluck it." And then next thing you know, you'd unpluck 12 leaves,
You
but
got a
they really
Charlie
didn't need to
Brown
be.
tree.
Right. They really didn't need to be plucked. You're just like gazing at your plant, and now you're like overthinking everything. You're just like, well, I was gonna defoliate in 3 days. How about I just do it now?
This is the
Like,
Bean Poppers Anonymous problem. If you don't just sit there and start fucking with that one plant, you'll just pop more plants. And then when you get to your state, like, legal limit, you're going to be like, oh man, I'm at 12 plants. And you're just going to have the 12 plant fucking stare where you just
yeah,
stand there and look at them all day. And then
because
eventually,
first couple,
it doesn't matter. Eventually, Matt, you're right. Eventually,
first,
you're
first
going to
couple
just
weeks
fuck
are
with
rough.
12 plants.
The first couple weeks are rough because you're growing a plant, and it's just like slowly like coming to this little baby plant. You're like, man,
We
two,
overfeed
three,
it 15
two, 3 weeks
times.
went by. I could definitely, like, it's not that much work. And then you pop four more, and now you got five, and then you're just like, this ain't so bad until they're all full blown veg and getting ready to go in flower, and you're just like, fuck, I got to defoliate 5 fucking plants and stretch them out and train them and tie them down and water them. And then you're just like, fuck, like this now is taking an hour a day almost,
Oh,
So,
is the fruit, is the berry worth the squeeze, bro? Like,
so you go from having like more than enough time to not having enough time at all because you didn't know the situation was going to turn out. Understand the assignment is pretty key as well. The time management. Know exactly how many plants you're going to grow, when you're going to grow them. Like if you're doing a perpetual grow and you're every 4 weeks you're popping seeds and you got plants going into flower when the set behind it's going into veg, and then you got your seedlings are starting to pop up. Like that takes a little bit more time because you have more things to do. You have to take care of plants and flower. You have to have separate nutrients, separate lighting, separate watering. Then you have veg. Again, everything is separated. And then you have seedlings that you got to make sure have the correct humidity to, propagate. And, that's a lot of work. So, perpetual grow, I don't 100% recommend that for beginners unless you have the time to do it. You know, um, if you're just like one grow done and then start another one, I mean, just prepare yourself to be continuously busy for as long as you keep popping seeds. Like if you're like, oh, well, this one's about to be harvested in 2 weeks and you start another round, I mean, you're just going to be doing the same thing day in and day out. And not a lot of people can make that commitment. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Not everybody's going to make that commitment.
well, they make it. They just don't hold it. Like that's the
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah.
I
Well,
see this
that's what I
happen
mean.
all the time, bro. I see people get into this and then they don't have any time for it, and it sucks because they likely did have time for it.
And I
If they
mean,
had managed it, they likely did have the time.
just put it to you this way. I mean, in the end, everything's going to pay for itself after one or two grows. But you know, if you have the time, great. If you don't, then you most definitely need to invest in the proper equipment to reduce the amount to fit the schedule and the amount of time that you can give.
Or
You
hook
know,
up with us and we can help you to craft a grow
absolutely
plan.
right.
Like
I
a
mean,
solid SOP will get you so far by just being able to replicate consistent inputs. Like you're gonna look at a SOP that tells you to do the same key steps every day in a row, and then you're gonna have a few different days where there's extra shit in there that you need to just make sure you maintain, as well as like defoliation and training and topping and tucking, and if you have to make a scrog or put a scrog together or scrog a plant,
yeah.
whatever you have to do. But the key inputs, which we always say, sticking to the basics, is really something that is not only overlooked, it's underappreciated. And I think when people just do the basics, they're like, wow, this plant I got is crazy. It's actually probably not the plant. It's probably just, consistent inputs,
Yeah.
you know.
And not to even like plug the products because like honestly that's not what we're here for.
Well, no
um,
product involved. I'm just
well
saying
i'm just i'm just
keeping
i'm just
VPD and
well
proper
what I'm getting at
PPFD and
what I'm
proper
getting
ppm soil nutrients, you will have much better results every time than an inconsistent VPD with all the right shit.
No, I totally understand that. What I was gonna say was, not to like promote the products that we offer, but we do offer them, and the controllers, the automation to help get you to where you need to be. Like we're not here to plug our products, but I'm going to talk about the services that we provide with those products. Like if you buy something from Mars Hydro or Parfact Works or VivoSun or whatever you're buying, you're not going to get access to anyone that's going to tell you how to use it, adjust it, what help you with settings. Like they're gonna give you a book and be like, here, figure it out.
And if
And
they
it's not
don't,
that
and
simple.
listen, they do have customer service for these places, but like if you call, they're just going to refer to what's printed there
Right.
in their manual. Like, you know, when you get this equipment home, regardless of what it is, your home is the variable monster that's gonna fucking be haunting you, like, or not. Maybe your house is perfect and you keep consistent temperatures and this and that, so it's great. But some people's houses are drafty, and if it's hot out, it's humid and muggy and hot, and if it's not, it's freezing. And you know, like people have problems with these places and where they put their grow rooms sometimes, and
Right.
all their recommendations go out the window. You know that those all those books that come with everything are for perfect conditions. And if it's one thing I know from construction, you never install on perfect conditions because it's never going to happen unless it's new construction.
Well, no, unless you're in a commercial grow, because that's where these
Same
products that
deal.
these companies sell are tested. They're tested in commercial facilities,
And
laboratories. Right.
formulated too, like how many tablespoons to use of a nutrient or teaspoon, or you know. And that's the crazy part, because they don't even base that on somebody who's using it at home, and that's the people they're trying to target the most.
Yeah.
Well, the good ones are the people that are usually using organic stuff. It's usually teaching people or trying to teach people. I'm seeing that more and more. We used to be able to say, Matt, I think we have to start, you know, appreciating that other people are doing it too. I think we pushed the mission long enough that there's actually people here doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I don't think
Absolutely.
they've been here doing what we're doing for as long as we have, because that's kind of what we predicated this whole umbrella of companies under, was helping beginners not get screwed and keeping them from, you know, having a bad taste in their mouth for growing. And this is the
Right.
same thing with the information. I don't think the people who design the lights at Viva Sun have a podcast teaching you how to use a grow light.
Well, I mean, look at it
That's
this
for
way
sure.
too.
That's
I
I
mean,
definitely agree with you on that one,
you look at all these big companies that 2 years ago were like plastered everywhere. Spider Farm, Mars Hydro. Like go look in these groups that you saw them like just day after day. Like go look and see where they're
giving them
at.
away,
Because
giving them away, giving
well,
them
they're
away.
not even there anymore. Like they're not even prevalent like that. Like
Oh, well, they don't need to be.
Spider Farmer released like two new lights in the last 3 or 4 years. Like because they don't care. They're not. They've already made their money. Now they're just like whatever.
Well, that's
And
what
you're
I was trying to tell people. Like Spider Farmer happened to be like a big brand and people bought it a lot, but that didn't mean that it wasn't a fly by night white label that as soon as they were tanking in sales, they weren't going to pull the plug and then start up as another name.
well. I mean, if you look at a lot of them, they don't even. They
It
don't even.
happens a
They're
lot.
not even in the U.S. market that much anymore.
Bro,
'Cause-
who's that company that was going crazy pushing lights like nuts, and then they disappeared, and then another junk company came out right after them just like them? We're like, this is the same people.
With Cola Frog.
No, 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 not that. It was Panvillo,
Oh, yeah.
right? So their name disappeared, but then all of a sudden this mystery company comes in and starts fucking, you know, sponsoring all these groups and giving away lights. And like when Panvillo came out, dude, there was easily, like, I witnessed easily 600 lights given away in Facebook
Yeah.
groups.
Right.
And like
Probably more.
honestly, dude, like,
Probably more because that
and
was just the United States that you saw, and
people are
just a
like, bro, this is
handful of
such a
groups.
good company. And I'm like, dude, if they could afford to give away a light that's supposed to be worth $129 600 times, that's not because they're such a rich company. It's because the light's junk, dude. You know, and then they're like, oh man, I got stuff dripping off my light on my plants. I'm like, that's crazy, because
Dude, think about the ones that give away 1,000 lights and they're $600-700 a light. Talking about
Oh
a
yeah,
million
dude.
dollars and plus shipping and all that stuff. That you're talking about $1 million worth of product,
On retail paper.
right?
Yeah, but not on the other side, and that's
Okay,
the
so
shitty part.
even if they were doing a 50% markup, that's $500,000, and
They write
that's
it
a lot
off.
of. I mean, right, write it off, yeah, but whatever,
They
you
write
know.
it off, dude. And the lights are. Listen, I want to say this just outright. If I had 1,000 lights that are actually worth $600-700, I would not give them away for a write off of my expenditures.
So how
Doesn't
many
even make any
cars?
sense, dude.
How many cars do you think Mercedes gives away on
Just to write,
Facebook?
just to write
On
shit off
Facebook a year?
on Facebook.
Yeah, like or
I don't
like
know.
this. Let's just keep it on the platform that we're talking about.
They have the
You
fucking Mary Kay like Mercedes that you get for selling makeup. I don't know.
know,
You
that's
know,
incentivized for putting in work.
yeah, that's like the same shit as Facebook. These guys get all these posts, they get paid from it. It's
You think
incentivized.
Mercedes is giving away 1,000 cars a year? No.
Well, they work for it. You think Mars Hydro doesn't get paid for their post content on Facebook when 26,000 people tag them a day? Like you know what I mean? Like you got to think
True.
about it from the aspect of these guys are doing these things for a reason, bro. And it's not because they're just so in the goodness of their heart. It's because there's money involved, of course. But like at the same token, the light quality, you know what I mean? That's what's at question. When you look at the a tent from Gorilla versus AC Infinity, I would love to see somebody actually go and do like they say AC Infinity is the best grow tent, like literally. I know it's self-proclaimed from fucking gorilla tents, but they have been self-proclaimed and also uncontested forever. There's nobody makes a stronger or taller tent than they do.
I mean, but do you really need all that?
Does anybody really need anything?
I mean, like I'm just saying, dude. I've been
do
using
you
a
do you really
$50.
need to
I
not?
got a $50 4x4.
Dude, their garbage tents are fine. It's just in a space. But like what
I've
I'm
had it
trying to
for
say is,
fucking 4 years.
what I'm trying to say is the best of things isn't just coming out now. You know what I mean?
It's always gonna get better.
I mean, you could stay in your lane as well. Like AC Infinity, they
Yeah.
make a really good like computer rack and like server room shit. Like that's what they do. And then they just jumped into growing because someone used their inline fans for grow tents. So like they jumped into growing and went full bore. That doesn't mean that that's good stuff. You know what I mean? And I just I see you going and you pay and you buy and you buy and you buy and you don't get good quality. You know what I mean? And I don't know if people even care, but that's the same reason people aren't buying Gorilla Grow tents
Yeah. I mean,
because
it's
you don't
overpriced
want to
too.
pay for quality. Yeah, but okay, Matt, you're gonna say you don't want a tent that's gonna last you 25 years,
I mean, I'll see how long this one. I've got 4 years going on this one. I don't see
4 years
it's not.
ago.
Yeah, it's not really fucking. It's not giving way at all.
I think
But
it's like almost 300 bucks for a
she's
grow.
just as strong as the day that I put her up. I mean,
I don't know, but
the zipper gets a little finicky sometimes, but
the zippers are
you know,
better on Gorilla than almost everything. You can put an extension kit on it if it gets too tall. Your plant gets too tall inside of there.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they really thought about the grower. That's what makes that a quality product. You know what I mean?
right.
And when you get into lights, not a lot of lights are quality products, and the companies aren't even quality companies.
Well, let me tell you something about me as well. My tent is literally like three
Eric
inches
Hale,
from the
how you doing, man?
ceiling. So I got the big like that's another thing. Like just here's another thing that can get into time management too. Buy the stuff that you need from the rip.
Right. That
Because
is
then
that is has to do with you actually waiting and not just
Well,
going on a
waiting,
frenzy.
like, but then, like,
Save your money.
say you buy a small tent and your plant's like massive and it's outgrowing the tent, then you got to take the time to look for another one. You got to order it. Maybe you don't have the money. Maybe you got to wait another, and then you're stressed out. You're like, your plant's fucking shooting out of the tent that you have it in. I mean, that could be a time management thing too, for sure. And then your plant's suffering because you
Well,
don't
it's
have the
not
right.
much. It's not so much time management as like
I mean, everything is time,
being
dude.
prepared for your fucking tasks, and that goes along what we were saying before. Have a grow plan. Have an idea. Write out what you want to do. If you want to veg it for freaking 3 months, you got to have a grow plan that's going to accommodate that tent size, the amount of fertilizer. You know what I mean? Like it'll help you, but it's not time management for sure. It'll definitely get into that when you have the right shit. It'll help you manage your time if you aren't fucking totally screwing yourself by having no environment or the wrong equipment or not buying it because you can't afford it yet. I'm
Yeah.
a firm believer in you really need to, wait. This is a hobby. You're not going to go and tell me you want to drag race and then go get on the fucking get on the track and not have anything put into your car because you don't have any money. Like
Run the stock neon.
no, right. And I know that people are really excited to get into this, and I know that's how a lot of people start in a hobby. But from a hobbyist to another hobbyist, wait until you're
That made me laugh
adequately
on the inside.
what?
Stock neon.
Yeah, stock neon, dude. The SRTs were crazy when they came out, but the stock neons were like
trash.
Popsicle stick. Yeah, terrible. Um, but yeah, if you're gonna do anything, make sure you're ready and have everything there. Like, take the time to do that. It's super important that you're not like, oh, I just started, now I have to buy this.
Right, you don't go to Vegas without cocaine.
You don't just get into a hobby without having your ducks in a row. And this is not like just a thing. Like people don't just grow tomatoes like they grow cannabis. Like it's not the same shit, dude.
Some people do.
No, they don't. They don't. They don't just like throw them out there and they're like, oh man, look at that. We only got 3 buds this year. These were shitty. These are shitty seeds. Like, no, dude. They like fucking. They're like, move all this garbage out of here, and you're like, why, Dad? And he's like, I'm putting one plant here. It needs 6 square feet per fucking. Get all this shit out of the yard. Like, it's totally different, bro. People take growing weed way more seriously than I think, unless they're tomato fanatics. I think they take it growing way more seriously.
People around here take their tomatoes seriously.
Bro, the people at Home Depot don't water the plants, and then people buy them and take them home, and then they are like, yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then simultaneously they post their plant online. They're like, hey, my plant has a tiny yellow spot on it. What is that? It's like you just bought like a plant that hasn't drank water this year from Home Depot that's almost dead, and you're all good there. But when it's cannabis, you're freaking the fuck out. You like the artwork. Thanks, man. Live in Indiana. We don't even have medical. I know, man. I drove through there with seeds, and it was sketchy. It was very sketchy. Very sketchy. It freaked me out. Big time.
Dude, so this shit right here tastes like garlic. It's phenomenal. It's like garlic bread. It's like it's like you can taste the Parmesan cheese, too.
You can taste the Parmesan cheese. Oh, man. It's good stuff.
It's a little rough, but it's worth it. I just feel like I ate cheesy bread from Domino's or something.
That's pretty cool.
It's fucking tasty.
You're going to be in like a week. You're going to be like, hey, man, so that fucking dab? And I'll be like, yeah. And you'll be like, I finished that little chunk, and then I went and took a rip of the other one, the other chunk, and I'd be like, yeah. And you'd be like, and that was a piece of Parmesan. It wasn't even dabs. I was just vaporizing a chunk of Parmesan.
Parmesan?
Yeah, the other side was dabs.
No.
Tastes like cheesy bread. Vaping some cheese that fell in there.
It's good. I shouldn't have done that, though. I'm going to be ripped.
We're on the East Coast, man. We're trying to take over the Northeast with helping
Oh,
people
almost everything.
get the right equipment and just start off in the right direction. And we're not talking about like if you're like a veteran for 15 years, you know what I mean? Or you've been doing this for 5 years or 3 or whatever. We're looking for people that haven't grown, people that don't know anything, that don't know what a cola is. You know what I mean? That's who we're trying to help get into the right direction.
Cola? Like Pepsi?
Yeah. So, we've been helping people for quite some time now because it really does get difficult. So, but the next difficult part is also getting equipment that helps you with automation and getting stuff that's good. Like I know far too many people that don't have pH pens, and then they're trying to chase around problems. That's not really time management, but it ends up you're wasting your time that you have managed to save to do this stuff. So you shouldn't be getting in the garden and then not having a pH
I think
pen, and
what Eric's
or
trying to say is don't make time to waste time.
right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
You're
That's
welcome.
what we should have called the segment. Don't make time to waste time. But it's definitely true. Like you're gonna go out there, you have an allotted time period that you gave yourself, and if you blow it on fucking trying to find shit you don't know where you put it because you're rushing around last time, it's just gonna keep compiling. You know,
And don't buy shit just to buy shit either, because I've done that too. Because that's gonna play. It's gonna play into time management. Because you start buying like this off the wall shit. You know,
you got to figure out how the fuck it works.
and then you're gonna fuck around with it with your plants or in your garden, and it's gonna fucking oh man.
Roger Clark,
Don't
how are you, man?
don't
You
get
just
caught
got the
up in like
pH pen. We
the
just got our
cannabis
pH pen.
infomercials. Because you'll see a lot of cannabis infomercials where it's like, try this. It's the next great thing in cannabis growing.
You know,
Grow plants upside down, anti gravity, and you're just like, whoa, I need that.
I do need that. I want that. I want anti gravity plants. Um, Roger Clark jumped in here and said, and I already know that he got the pen because I shipped it to him, but he actually picked up one of our pH pens. He said he loves it, but I mean, that's the thing. It's not like it's a magical piece of equipment. It just works how it's supposed to. I don't know how many pH pens you've had, but like, feel free to share how many pH pens you've gone through. Um, and I'll let you know how many I've gone through. I've literally before we could select one that I wanted to endorse, let's say, I probably went through
Oh,
like
fuck shit.
30 or 40 of them, and after a week or two they're not.
30 or 40?
Yeah, and after a week or two of them
Jesus
they're not
Christ.
accurate anymore, and that's really not cool. So
Yeah, I mean,
cheap ones are not good, but you don't have to spend $150 on one for it to be
I
good.
mean, no, no, you don't.
Roger
I
said
mean,
he's had 4 or 5. I've grown my own garden vegetables since 13. I want my shot to grow legally.
well, actually,
Right, man. I mean,
actually,
I hope you get it soon, dude. That's really shitty.
if you
Get
count
legal, bro.
RPH pen, I guess I've used four. I've had a first one was a Vivo Sun, then it was a Dr. Meter, then it was a Hannah, and then
Hannah's a
it was,
good product, but you're also paying double what you need to pay for that
yeah, I
product.
mean the Hannah works good too, but
Right, but
ours
you're
works.
paying double what you need to for it. That's
But
like a
what the
30 or
Hannah
$40
doesn't do,
pen, and it's 80, 90
it's
bucks.
like a 60. I think I got it on sale for $65. But
Um,
one thing it doesn't do is that our stuff does is it doesn't have an app. It doesn't have a place to log it. So where ours does.
right. Well, that's the thing. As I was looking through hundreds of these and I bought 30 or 40 of them and I used them, dude. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, these all suck. And then I was like, let me at least check out one of these fucking digital ones. Like, I'm not impressed because none of them are accurate. So I got into the digital ones and they're actually surprisingly more stable. But the other part of it is that you have the ability to backlog your information if you're growing one or two or three or four plants. you can take your pH readings and your EC and your TDS and the temperature, all four of them at once, and click save, and then name it per plant,
week
per
1.
day, and then go back and look at your data and follow your own grow. And you could actually even print it from there. If you had like a fucking perfect run with something and you just want to keep all your pH and all of your EC or TDS or ppm like all the way through, you literally can print that and save your run. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. I like being able to document your stuff in a way that keeps you organized. So that's why I started looking towards this one specifically, that
And it
we
can help you correct issues. Like if your, you know, plant is doing well, and then it starts to, not do so well, like you can go back and see what changed. Oh, well, when it was doing
right.
really well, my pH was 6.3. When it started yelling, it was 6.8. Maybe let's try to bring that pH back down a little bit.
And it keeps you from having to physically write a million fucking things out because it takes all the measurements and readings at one time. So, that's the cool part. You don't
Fuck
need
my
multiple
yarn
pens.
for, dude.
Huh?
I guess I keep yawn. I took that dab and it's like
Is
instant
it
yawn.
indica? Is it an indica?
I don't know what the fuck it is. It's gotta
Parmesan
be
garlic
something,
bread
dude.
cheese.
Parmesan garlic bread fucking nap time. That's what it is. Maybe that's what's supposed to, because like after you eat, you get nappy. So maybe like maybe it's fucking
Parm
with my brain. Maybe my brain thinks I
Parmesan
just
nap
ate
time,
cheesy
dude.
bread.
We
It's
should
like, yeah,
really, we should develop a strain, Matt. That's like the cheesiest strain, and then the sleepiest strain. And call it Parmesan nap time.
it's called string cheese, sleep cheese,
Sleepy cheese.
sleepy cheapies.
So, just to do a quick wrap up, and then I don't know if Matt has anything he wants to add, but quick wrap up. Make sure you plan. Make sure you plan to have 20 minutes or more, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 40 a day if you have big grow, but you shouldn't really need more than 20 minutes a day. You're going to be there every single day. I take it not too many people make homemade fertilizer for cannabis. I don't know if, sorry to interrupt myself. Everybody's listening. This is a comment that just came in. I don't know if a lot of people make their homemade fertilizer for themselves for cannabis. I know that people compost soil and use that, but it's unless you're doing like microbial stuff and using just the media, I think you're gonna need nutrients because it's kind of hard to produce your own nutrients at a level unless you're gonna be going
Got
through a
high
lot of
octane
processes.
soil.
But you're gonna be going through a lot of processes. If not, like things aren't, you can't just like take something and throw it in the soil and then it's just plant available. You know what I mean? Like eggshells have to be broken down over time to become plant available. So like coffee grounds. People do that. That's another thing that like it takes a little bit of time. It's not instant. So I mean, I don't know. Cannabis is a very high demand plant, and I think that in the drag race of pop the clutch and see what happens at the end, you really want to make sure you're driving straight and you have the right shit going. You don't want to
You're
waste your
locked
time.
in.
Yeah, you really don't want to waste your time. So I think sometimes it's not worth it. But if you are trying to, build a budget that works for you, there goes your time for some R&D and try to get that worked into your allotted time and get time management for that as well. And do it. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to learn. Nothing wrong with that, man.
But we're here to help.
Right. We're here to guide you if you need some help. But I know people that could definitely give you that answer. It's not going to be as little, or maybe you're thinking it's going to be a lot of work, but I don't think it's going to be a little bit of work. I think it would be quite a deal more than using organic nutrients that are, holistically made. Yeah, some whole nutrients for your plants. Whole foods for plants.
Beavis and Butthead. Whole,
Whole foods.
whole.
But yeah, so to get back into the wrap up of what I was saying, so you definitely want to make sure that you have your time planned out and allotted. You want to make sure that you're not going to waste the time that you allotted because you're not managing the time you allotted, and you don't want to waste time buying products after product after product and wasting time trying to figure out how to use them. You're going to end up doing things to yourself and your plant you don't even realize. Like, I've seen people be like, "Oh, this plant's going really good, so I bought this flower booster," and then a week later or 2 weeks later, the plant's doing terrible. And it's like you didn't even need that, number one, and now you're wasting all of your time trying to get this plant back. So it not only is wasting your time that you planned to spend in your garden, but I can't imagine you'd be having a good experience doing that at the same time. Plus, your plant would suffer, which ultimately means you get a lesser yield, which means you're screwing yourself. So, chicken or turkey manure.
Turkey.
Hell, been making all kinds of different fertilizers for years. Yeah, but like if you want to make it and use it next year, you're not just gonna take chicken shit, throw it in your pot. You know what I mean? So, like, if you can do that, I can't keep around fertilizer. You know what I mean? Where I'm at, I could never keep a large enough amount of fertilizer around. If you have that, then awesome, dude. Space management. Give you a
Yeah.
thumbs up on that one. But like, if you
So
go
much.
pick up fertilizer, yeah, you could run amended soil. That's absolutely 100%. But you know, homemade fertilizer, you're gonna have to get a bunch of things. Like if you use like peanut meal or use kelp meal, like I don't have kelp just laying around in my house that I can make plant available. Not
You're
in
better off
not in the
making.
amounts that you would need for a
Well,
yard of soil. Let's say you need like freaking 4 cups of kelp meal. That's high
you'd
grade
probably
and
be
ready
better
for
off making
plant.
a tea with that stuff.
Right. No, I mean, if you're talking, he's saying making different fertilizers for years, but like, if you want to make a fertilizer that lasts a long time, you would just need high input ingredients, like, that are going to stably feed that plant over a long period of time and also feed the soil. Um,
Guanos.
if you're going to make soil, that's one thing. But if you're just going to try to make yourself nutrients that you're going to apply, uh, let's say you're going to make nutrients to feed a plant in cocoa or in something there's absolutely nothing in. You're not just going to do that from household stuff. You're going to need highly refined nutrients to mix together, and you can make your own nutrients at home. You can make your own fertilizers at home as well, but it takes a lot of knowing what you're doing going into that, especially if it's going to be readily available right now as a top dress. And buying all those things, I think that you're going to have a lot more for a lot more time, but um, you're going to save the time, or you're going to save the money, and you're going to have that fertilizer for a lot longer. But you also have to store it and have the space. So typically indoor growing, it's best to try to find an organic solution or a soil that's already amended. That would be my opinion on that, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Are you shaking your head no, or are you just shaking your beard?
I'm just shaking my beard.
Oh, okay, I was
As you
like,
can see, I don't know if you noticed that my background went from day to night.
that
from a sleepy
he's
from a
got some
sleepy
goodies
kid.
that's been fermenting in 55-gallon barrels for about a year. That's awesome, dude. Like, I wish I had the space to do like ferments, because I would just do ferments and send them to people to try. You know what I mean? And I would just perfect making ferments. But like that's awesome. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't have, let alone the space, but the time for for doing it. I mean, I know you could probably do it in a small space because you just like
Ferments
make
scare me,
something,
dude.
but they scare you.
Yeah, cause
Oh,
like I don't know,
bacteria.
I'm kind of old. Like I'm not gonna tell anybody my age, but I remember seeing an episode of MacGyver, like the old school MacGyver, where he's being chased by a bunch of these people, and he went into like a barn storage facility, and there was just bags and bottles of what was generically labeled fertilizer. and he ended up making fertilizer bombs. Like, and I was just like, I'm deathly afraid of ferments and crazy old soil.
No big deal. It's just chemistry that no one paid attention to.
Yeah, yeah, but I was just like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
dangerous stuff.
Yeah, because you're putting like acidics and metals together, and that's never good.
Yeah. That's just me personally. Like, if you're
They
good
usually
at it,
make gas, you know, when you
I'll
have
use them if
uranium,
you make
and
it
it
for
goes
me.
boom because it's gas pressure.
Yeah, I'll use it if it's
Oh, nice,
pretty.
dude. He says he's got 7 acres. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What we're talking about most likely won't apply to you unless you wanted to set up a 4x4 in the corner of your very small room that you have left in your house. And that's what most of these people start with. They're like, hey, man, so I cleared out the closet with shit we don't use. I can buy a light for that, right? I'm like, let me see the closet. And it's always like someone's got a baseboard heater running through the fucking wall in there. And I'm like, it's not going to help. You know what I mean? And they just do it anyway. So it's never like someone's like, hey, man, I've got a fucking 10 by 10 room and I want to grow in the whole thing, soup to nuts. Let's spend $4,000 on equipment. And if I suck at this, then, you know, I suck at it and I'll get better. Like, you know what I mean? Not a lot of people do that. They don't just, you know, take the dive. Especially, they don't find the people that would give them the right product to, you know, have a success story. They would probably have more problems than anything because mostly these companies give you a product and walk away. So, understanding again what you need to do is huge. Having a plan is even bigger because you're going to need to be able to manage your time and
Huge.
you're also going to have screw ups. You're going to have screw ups along the way that you have to manage more time for. So, knowing that you're like, well, it only actually takes me like 10 minutes to feed the plants and then I'm just staring at them for 10 minutes. You know, you have, you know, an extra 10 minutes tomorrow. So if you have to do something, you got, you know, you got time.
Word.
You don't have to stare at them. And then also what Matt brought up, which is a really good point, not buying random shit, you know, starting with what you finish with. You know, if you start a run, you should have a plan for the seedling. If you're somebody that wants to do like, you know, mycorrhiza or you want to do like a top dress, get those things first because if you don't, you're going to end up buying things you don't need on top of it.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you're going to get into flour like I was saying before. You're going to get into flour, you're going to be like, "Wow, this thing was fucking awesome." And then you're going to be like, "Oh, I saw this guy use this and you get awesome results." Then you buy it, you use it, and you torch your plant. And you're like, "Fuck." You know what I mean? And you didn't even need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you find out your stuff you were using is really strong already, and you just nuked your plant. That would have been fine if you just
I've,
stuck to your plan,
I've
and you
purchased
wasted
things
money.
that are still in the box, brand new, unopened.
Oh, I know. You could start a literal like you could literally have a growers flea market.
Oh, dude, I would probably crush it for real.
I got sent a bunch of autoflower seeds.
Like, I have a
Sentiments and
16-inch crank
force feeding
trimmer.
for corn seed are bred.
Still
That's
in the
cool,
box.
man. It's trading weed seeds for corn seeds. That's pretty dope, man.
Oh,
That's how it should be. I mean, I think that that's the equal trade, man. I think that's an even trade all day. You know, a seed's a seed. You got to put in the work. You know, that's the real truth there. That's the real truth. That should be what seed banks are. Like, you know, you go in there and you just trade seed for seed.
yeah.
But he's got to probably have some sick ass corn to trade some beans for it.
That sweet corn, that's where it's at.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I love corn. I quit eating it.
So that Mexican street corn, that shit's official.
Well, I only eat like corn when I'm in Mexico now. But
Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I mean,
it's fantastic, dude.
get it where you can get
So
it.
it's so good. That's why I gotta not eat it. He reached out to you. That's awesome, man. That's really gotta give you like a sense of like honor and respect in your own product. You know, this guy reached out, was like, "Yo, dude, I'll trade you some autos for some corn." That's fucking awesome, man.
Man, I got that loud corn.
He's got that fucking corn. That's fucking hilarious, bro. It's hilarious, but it's also fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
can you send me some, dude? I'll send you a couple autoflower seeds. You want to send me some corn? I gotta see what this is all about, dude.
You know, it's like that episode of The Simpsons where they like combined tobacco and tomatoes to call it tamaco.
No,
And
I didn't
like
see that.
everybody that was eating these tomatoes became like heavily addicted to eating these tomatoes.
I did not see that.
Oh man. So maybe he's got the corn like that, or like it's like crack.
It's not even a hybrid
You
of
take
corn
like
and
one,
tobacco.
eat one
Just
ear of
crack.
corn, and you're just like, all I want is this corn for the rest of my life, like
Yeah,
all
man.
day, every day.
I need this corn. I don't give a shuck. Gotta have it.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm baked as a mofo right now. So like,
Actually, my buddy grew out a basilisk breath that I had growing, somewhere, someday, somehow, and he took a clone of it, and then he grew it, and he was like, "Hey, man." So I really needed the money for bills, so I had an ounce for you, but I had to sell it. I was like, "That sucks, dude." He was like, "I got a quarter for you." I was like, "That's fucking awesome." So this shit is great though. Shout out to Serious Ken. This is some awesome bud, dude. I don't even think that you can buy this on his site anymore.
what is
But
it?
Basilisk breath.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a photo period. He's got
I have his stuff. I
this
don't
guy
think
goes, I got a lot of videos of my corn.
I don't think I've
Dude,
ever grown his
send us
stuff.
a message, bro. You never what?
I have I have a bunch of serious Ken stuff, but I don't think I've ever grown anything.
Oh, really? You're sleeping on it, dude.
I'm not sleeping on, dude.
If you haven't grown any of it and you have it all,
I
you're
have so
definitely
much.
sleeping on
Like
it.
the
But
next one I'm gonna do is Gas Nana from Soulfire. That's my next grow. It's a photo period.
another freaking flavor of the week, or dude. Why don't you
No,
just
dude,
pop a serious Ken, dude?
I've had that, dude. I've had those seeds for like 2 years now.
Serious Ken was never flavor of the week. He was deeply copyright
I'm not
infringing
saying it was.
Harry Potter. Okay,
I'm not
that's
saying it was flavor of the week at all.
no,
Not at all.
but you have some gas there, dude. Do you have
Yeah, I mean,
Gasberry
it's on
goo?
the list, bro.
Do you have the
No,
fucking
I have,
Dementor's dreams?
no, I have Hulk Rising.
Fire, bro. Phoenix Fire in the
I have
name.
Hulk Rising. I have
Fire.
Love Potion. I have
Fire.
a couple of them.
Mad Eye Stomper.
No, I don't do none of those Harry Potter ones.
That's what I mean. Those are the ones, bro.
I mean, they're
Those.
all the ones, dude.
I had no. I have them all.
They're all the ones.
I bought every one of them. I got
Any
every single one
CD
of them.
pop is the one. So
No,
like,
dude. No, it
it's
is not.
always the one. Bro.
No, it is not, sir.
You don't pop a seed and be like, "This is not the one." Like, no,
Okay, I mean, yes, I guess you hope they're all the one, but when you finally pop
this
something
is the fucking
from
one.
Serious Ken, from the fucking Harry Potter line, if you don't have anything, that's fine, bro. You don't have to have it all.
I'm
This isn't
telling you right now,
Pokemon,
I don't
but
have
I'll
it.
send you some. And you pick. I have every
I mean,
strain. You let
I
me
don't need
know.
it.
You let me know,
I
and
don't need
I'll
it right
send it
this
to you.
second.
Okay.
I know
Well,
you will. I don't
you
need it
should.
right now.
You're
I
gonna
got
run the
40,
Soulfire.
bro. I got 40,000 different strains up here.
40,000.
No, not that. I'm
We should give away
exaggerating.
10%.
I'm heavily
We're
exaggerating.
giving away 10% of that stock. That's roughly 4,000 people.
Bro, I got so much. I got a bag within a bag within a bag, and each one of those bags has
Bag in it.
vials upon vials upon
As you just said, they all have a bag in
vials.
them.
Yeah,
Bro,
but
I
they're
have
all the
this
one,
bag.
dude.
I have this bag right here. A 2-pound coffee bag. It is literally filled like they're falling out of the top. Right?
Just
This is all shit.
imagine.
This is all the shit people gave me last year, all the way up to the last festival.
Yeah, no, just imagine that bag inside of a bag that has that bag and another bag with more of those bags.
This is just one bag.
right?
got more bags, man. We got bags.
I'm just saying, this
I
is what
got
I've
bags.
accumulated over time.
Right. Exactly.
Insane.
40,000 cultivars. I'll come over there and take 1% of them. You'll be like, hey, man, that was a lot of most of it. 400.
Like, there's just so much that like I can grow. Like, I got humble. I got.
Humboldt's good shit too. What do you got? Parfait? The strawberry parfait? That was a big
I
one.
have the strawberry cheesecake, but I have other shit too. Forget what the other one is.
I really wanted to grow the Chiquita Chiapas, but I gave it away.
I don't know. I gotta look. I might still have that one.
I have
Maybe that,
Gatekeeper from Alaskan Cannabis Cache still.
you
That's
do?
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think I gave that one away.
I bought that pack and the guy died like fucking right after I bought it. And then his packs are being auctioned, dude, for like $200 to $500.
Yeah.
The Chiquita Chiapas went for $500, and I gave that away. I really wanted to grow that out, but I gave it away
Might still
to
have
it
that one.
to a member. But I really want to get into that Gatekeeper because I heard it's good shit too.
It's all good shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically,
You don't
it's
like
all good
grow a
shit,
plant
but
and be
like,
like,
there's
this isn't
great
gonna be
shit.
good shit. It's all good shit.
Oh, here we go again. Listen, Matt, what I do know 125% is when you pop a seed and it goes fucking bananas, then you're like, no, this is the one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it changes, bro, because um, you know, there's great genetics and there's extreme plant vigor, and when you have them together and then you have no fucking problems with your environment,
It's true.
it's like you were never doing it before. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, but this is why we push sticking to the basics so hard. Like, there's so many people we know. Like, we know, I know Roger. Um, he grows really great shit, but there's no way that sticking to the basics couldn't help him more. You know what I mean? And that's it. Like, and he's not a beginner. So,
Right.
like, it's not like this is something that an experienced person has to walk right by. Like, this is actually something that people should practice more because perfect practice makes perfect. You could practice something the wrong way for a long time, and then you're real good at doing it wrong. And you'll think you're perfect at it, but practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, and being able to, really be regimented on yourself will result in a consistent results.
I love how you made that sound like a fifth grade teacher.
Thank you.
You're like, all right, kids.
Okay,
Perfect
everyone.
practice makes perfect.
Because it's true, and I think not enough people got that hammered into their head. Like, you could
No, I just thought it was
practice
funny.
something, and if you're not extremely regimented on yourself, and you don't make sure that you do it the right way, then you're gonna be real good at fucking doing it 80%.
Yeah.
And like, an adult can't turn around and deny that from themselves like a kid could. So I don't know, dude. I was told that when I was a kid, and my sensei told me that. He told me practice makes perfect, and I said yes, sir. And he kicked me off my feet, and I never forgot.
I'm
Perfect
super baked.
practice.
I think that, dude, I think I smoked so many cigarettes while I was on this live because I'm so
I think I
stoned.
saw you smoke 3.
3?
I think so. Well, you started out with a dab, and then
I don't know what the fuck. And I
I'm
smoked.
pretty.
Well, I
I'm
smoked a
pretty stoned
blunt
too.
at one point.
I mean, that's
Well, a couple puffs
to
actually.
be expected at this point. Pretty blazed.
Feeling good.
Pretty blazed, man.
Oh yeah. I think
Yeah, I think we drove the nail home enough
drove us home.
times.
I
I think we drove
cocked
the
my finger guns.
yeah. I think we drove the lesson here home.
Time management.
You can really make your life
Priority.
easy with time management. making a plan, having a plan, um,
We're proud of you guys.
and being consistent
Yeah.
with your inputs.
See, look at the fireworks.
Fireworks. That's
That's how.
awesome. That's how you should end every. Now that you did it, you got to do that every time.
You know, proud of you guys with the fireworks.
That's nice. I like
Yeah,
it. He
my coup de
Eric
grace.
Eric Hale asks, "What's your guys' favorite strain to smoke?" That's a great question to end on.
Oh
Let
man, they
Mr.
already know what
Focus
the
go.
answer is, dude.
Should we 3, 2, 1 it for
No, dude, it's SB all day.
that's what I was gonna say. Should we 3, 2, 1 it and say
Yeah,
super
go
boof?
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, well, yeah, super
Oh,
cool.
super boof. It's super boof, bro. That shit is my favorite. I still have a tiny, tiny little,
Yeah, I
small
have a
little.
tiny. I got a couple of little dingers.
I don't know where the bag went, and I really hope it didn't just get like smoked up. But I think it got. I think
Yeah,
it
that's
got.
one you smoke occasionally. That's not like an everyday thing, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't know where it is. You know, I kind of threw it off to the side, and I was like, "All right, see you
It's
later,
like having a nice fucking glass of fucking scotch, you know.
bro."
21-year-old single malt, you know, like just fucking nice.
He goes, I've never heard of it. It won a lot of cannabis cups, and if you try it out, it should taste peppery. The phenotype we're talking about is like a peppery. And now that I know what it is,
Like beef
it's
jerky.
it's like but it's heavy in beta carotene, so that it's just a great smoke. It's got really heavy notes. It's trop cherry, and I forget what's it crossed with, man. If you look up Blockhead's genetics, uh, Blockberry is the parent, and then I believe that Super Boof is the pheno hunt of Blockberry, which is Trop Cherry and something else. Unbelievable strain. Unbelievable strain. I love it. Literally, my girl found it at this festival, and Matt looked around for it, and she was like, "I got Super Booth," and I was just like, "Oh, no way!" I immediately showed Matt. He's just like, "Where the fuck did you find that?" And she's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Take me there." She's like, "I don't know where it was." It was crazy, but she found it. That shit was official. And then me and Matt just stumble over this tent and buy some weed, and I take one hit off it, and I'm like, "Bro, it's fucking super proof." He's like, "No way!" And I hand it to him, and he's like, "We fucking got it for $45 a fucking half ounce." It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
Well, thanks for
Love super
stopping
proof.
by, everybody. Appreciate you. Episode 4 is out of close now.
It is.
Fireworks.
Fireworks are alive. Um,
Fireworks are valuable.
yeah,
Just need
thanks
some
for stopping
violin
by,
in the
everybody,
background.
and we appreciate your time and your support. And,
Crescendo us into the night.
make sure you follow and like and share on Facebook and
And subscribe.
share us share us on here and click the subscribe button so you can catch us next week on Saturday. We still don't have a disclosed time. We will have one soon. Right now, we just don't have one.
It's all love.
So that's so funny. If you're listening to the stream, make sure you jump on YouTube at some point, and you could actually watch us be idiots in person.
Be
Um,
recorded.
so also, we want to let you know that we're going to be in the Poconos for the World Cannabis Fair in July on the 20, what is it, Matt? 27th and 8th. What is going on? There's cats and raccoons. Cat is a wig. Oh my god.
Everybody loves cats, I guess.
Okay, so what's the dates? July
The
27th
27th and the 28th.
and then we're gonna be in Ohio for the is that Canafest?
Yeah.
Canafest? Ohio Canafest. Yeah, we'll be
That's
there
August 31st and September 1st.
August 31st and September 1st.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're in those areas, you check us out, say what's up, and if not, just catch us on here next time.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.